Hello, champions. My name is Genesis J, and I'm here today to talk you through some Genesis gameplay. You're going to get to enjoy my sultry tones of voice as we watch Proteous face off against Scary Pari. Proteous is being piloted by Joe Beausoleil, and of course, Scary Pari is being piloted by yours truly. Will I be embarrassed publicly, or will I claim victory? We're going to find out as the game begins. Now then, some dice have been rolled, and Proteus won the roll, which means Joe will be going first in each round today. Joe has just finished resolving his Proteus trigger at the start of the round, and I've now drawn my first card, and I'm up to 6 as the game begins. This will be interesting to see what Joe decides to start the game off with. He's decided to move Proteus up 1 square towards my side of the map, and he's bringing in Danu Nada, a new water-based creature from the invasion set. It gets exerted as it's just come in. Will he do anything else in the first round? Let's see. He's thinking about it for a minute. And no, that's going to be it. That makes it my turn. In my turn 1 play, I'm going to be bringing my champion ahead 1 square as well, because I want to be nice and close for Pari. I'm going to be summoning 2 of them in directly in front of me. The nice thing about Pari is that she's hard to target, hard to hit with things, but the downside is her attack is only action speed, so I definitely wanted to get close so that hopefully next turn Pari will only have to move 1 square and actually be able to do some attacking. And what else did I do? Oh, I brought out an aura break because I figure if I'm going to be taking some damage, which I likely will because my parries have no way of physically blocking people from getting close to me, it's nice to get an aura break into the game nice and early so that I can hopefully recover some extra aura to spend later on as I take a little bit of a beat down. I've decided, keeping in mind that there's a camera watching, to just attach the aura break directly to my champion as opposed to leaving it off to the side so that people will be able to see on camera how many counters get put on it over time. And with that, we're now entering round 2. And Joe is going to have his Proteus trigger go off again, and he is choosing to gain 10 aura.
Don't forget, you can walk through these.
That's what I was going to do. Yeah. I do that.
Okay.
And try to hit you for 3.
Again, this is the first difficulty that I knew I'd have to deal with. Having a deck that's filled with a lot of parries, is there's no way for me to physically keep my opponents away from my champion. So I took 3 damage there. And now on my first turn of the second round, I'm going to have my parry step up and try and hit Proteus in response with 3 damage of our own.
You're going to use something that can't target it?
Our Proteus player was prepared for my counterattack though, and casts Evade Right to try to move Proteus out of the way of the incoming attack at swift speed. This, of course, is exactly the kind of fun situation I've been looking forward to when playing as Gamilla, because my parry, thanks to Gamilla, is going to be able to cast a Sensory Shock in response at swift speed before the Evade Right can resolve. So my parry is still going to be able to do a little bit of damage, even if it's going to miss with its traditional attack.
That resolves. Now you can do your move with your Evade Right. No mushrooms in your disc?
Now we see that Proteus has summoned in a Toxic Mushroom, which, while it is very good in the arena, I do not suggest ordering on your next pizza.
Well, I took damage, right? Didn't I?
It was right around this moment that I looked down on my aura break and noticed that it didn't have any counters on it, and I do remember taking 3 damage earlier in the match, so Proteus, being a classy kind of champion, allowed me to add the 3 counters at this point for the damage I had already taken. There's a pretty bright light on the ceiling right above this table where this game was played, so occasionally during this match you'll see that a card gets hard to read on screen because of glare, so if that happens, I'm just going to go ahead and superimpose the card on the screen to make it easier for you watching right now to keep track of it. Just like that. At this point, that parry that just got moved, which is facing downward on the screen, is doing an attack for 3 damage to Proteus' water creature, so you can see the damage has been marked, and the water creature is now at 2 health remaining. And then the final turn for this round is just going to be Gamilla, my champion, doing 1 damage with her basic attack to Proteus's water creature.
End around?
And around.
Now at the beginning of round 3, Proteus has decided to use their trigger to take a look at the top card of their timeline, and if they don't like it, they're able to put it to the bottom.
Okay, cool.
Alright,
So,
now
we're
we
good to
draw.
draw now?
Yep.
Okay.
She'll end her turn. I might build a deck just out of angels if I get a bunch of those.
1, 2. And try to hit you for 3.
That's right. I'm waiting for you to move it. You sure can.
In response, I'll pay 11
I know.
and cast Skellid,
I know you are.
It doesn't matter. I'll just go with this.
which will hit you for 2 damage.
Mm-hmm.
2 damage at swift speed thanks to Gelid, just saved my champion a couple health.
Then I guess it'd be my go.
I guess
Yep.
I'll
Pari is going to
Take
come
him
over
out.
by 1,
Okay.
I'll do 2 to you.
and
Yeah.
Pari is going to hit this guy for 3 damage.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
End your turn.
1, 2.
Yep.
That sucks.
Just to kick you while you're down.
1. Hit it for 1.
Uh-huh.
I'm evade right, but it's a move, so. Yep. Evade.
1, 2.
There's only aura.
Yes, so you're on the same square.
Yep.
Yep.
And then
I
Dream
also have
Blade,
Spore Clouds. That's what I'm waiting for.
which will be a discard of 6.
Big you.
Yeah. I like how you built your Harley Quinn. It's really good.
It's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I might just not know how
And
to
that
play
will deal
it.
3 damage to a target my awareness, which will be
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
If the champions
You-
dealt damage, then they must
3.
discard a card or pay 10 aura.
Well, I'm going to be taking 3 damage
take
here,
this
which will get
guy
my
out.
aura break up, so that next turn I can get
Yeah.
15 aura back.
Mhm.
So I will pay 10
You can
aura.
react to that guy.
Evade right.
Oh, okay, sure. And then I'll take that guy out.
Okay,
Yep.
that's good. And you took
So I'll
your
try to hit you for 3.
Oh, and
damage?
damage? What's the damage?
3.
Or
3?
there's all the Kuntas.
1, 2, 3.
No, I can't do that. I can evasive though.
Is there,
Oh, wait, I need my turn. I'm gonna have my turn.
Parry's going to go 1, 2, but she's got an action attack, so she can't attack.
Because you played dudes.
Be exerted.
Right,
End
right.
around.
But yeah, you can sack
End
that
around.
skill for a
Okay.
day.
Going into round 4, Proteus has once again chosen to pay 1 life and look at the top card of their timeline and either leave it on top or put it on the bottom.
Yes.
draw a card?
I'll move. You want to try against my dial bet?
1.
Joe makes it
Yeah.
personal every time.
No, not at all.
Alright.
I gotta
Um,
build Harley Quinn. That works a lot.
and then I
I
will
double your aura.
Gilid.
Well, not double, but
Okay.
I have a lot more aura.
Hitting
but
me
did
for 2
nothing.
damage, is that right?
That's
I
correct.
mean, you still have to do a nine-sided hand from the beginning.
Yeah, so
okay.
I have.
I guess we can do
2
best of three
damage.
for this first.
But I only drew
And you
one
will
of those
be
guys.
also set with
But I have a lot of
slowed.
those little guys.
So you may
Yeah,
only
I
rotate
don't
and
know.
or
I have a ton of these
and
guys.
Yep. That's fine.
Yeah, so that's
Um,
that's my.
Alright, so I'll
the
just
only
do
thing
my
that is
I'll do my
troublesome
swift
that I
to
wanna
try to hit
know
for 2.
Is does
Alright.
I should play a
does
Shawnee.
the line of sight blockers block themselves?
Good for me to go?
Yep.
Because even
Parry?
though
Nope.
that doesn't make sense,
What do you mean?
there's
3
a lot of
damage?
things in this game.
Well, they're kind of, sometimes they're making a rule for something like that.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. Like
Parry?
it could be something.
When Jan said it blocks.
It's going to
line of
cast a
sight, I was
spell
like,
because she
what?
learned how to do that kind of
Or
stuff.
blocks range. I'm like, wow, this
5,
blocks line of
6,
sight. Let's say
7,
it blocks
8.
range.
Parry's going to do Mythic
Like his
Burst
range
to
is line
do
of
2
sight?
damage to everything in its awareness, which will be
I
2.
really want to use but I want these,
Then Parry's going to attack for 3 damage.
abominations.
As my champion's turn begins, I'm about to gain 15 aura back thanks to my aura break having 5 counters on it. Whenever I play blue decks, I tend to always put in a couple aura breaks. It's just one of my favorite pet cards in the color. Are there any cards that you always put when you play a certain color? Let us know in the comments.
And
The
she's
abomination
gonna
is
bring
the
out
6
another
cheese,
parry.
7 cheese.
Yeah.
That
But
parry
like,
will come in
the
exerted.
swift drainers are 5 cheese and they drain and they
And
Oh, the
then
three
she's
threes.
gonna just ping
Oh,
me
no, the
for
one-
one
they're
damage.
two, they're two
In
threes.
response.
Okay.
They're 2 3s and
Yeah,
they
Shield
still,
bash.
still guys.
and
Okay.
they drain.
So I will
They're
prevent
still
the next
draining.
3
Still
damage.
need three. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
And when I prevent
but I mean,
damage
it's not
for the
gonna be
first time with
it's not
Shield
range,
Bash,
though, so it's not
I can
gonna
deal
be
2
aerial.
damage to a target and
That's
Shield
the
Bash
only
awareness,
thing.
which would be you.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
Ariel
in
will take it
response,
out
I will pay
easily.
6
What
ore to
about
gain 2 life
Gamilla?
back.
So what's happening here is I attempted to attack Proteous for damage. Proteus casts Shield Bash to prevent that damage and do 2 damage back to me, but in response I just casted Dancing Stream to gain 2 health. That way my life didn't really change, although he did negate the damage that I tried to do to Proteus. Note that although I said my life total didn't really change, technically it did, and I should have been putting some damage counters onto my aura break at this time. I'm pretty sure we'll notice it a little later on and get them added, but that was just a little slip up at the time.
You need 6 damage off of that then. For that to be effective.
1, 2,
And now we're going to see Proteus move down to the bottom row and do a direct attack for 3 damage instead of 2, thanks to his choice at the beginning of the round, right to my Gamilla champion. Proteus happened to be standing in the same square as one of my parries, so of course Pari doesn't like that too much, so she's going to step back a square and hit Proteus for 3 damage. A quick glance over at the stats for this game might be a little misleading, as it does appear that we're pretty well balanced, with my Gamilla having 8 health and my opponent's Proteus having 7, and our auras being pretty similar as well, with me having 65 aura remaining, while Proteus does have 77. But of course, when you take a look at this board state, you'll see that my parries are continuing to move closer and closer, getting some hits in for 3 damage each, and I do have 3 parries on the board plus my champion, whereas poor Proteus is all on his own at this moment. So we're definitely getting near the end of the game, I think, unless Proteus can surprise me with something. And speaking of surprises, Proteus has once again played a Shield Bash in response to my attempt to damage him. And I'm once again playing a Dancing Stream in response to basically negate the loss of life. It will still happen, and I should be marking it on my aura break, but the Shield Bash would do 2 damage, and then I would gain 2 life back from the Dancing Stream. As we begin the 6th round, Proteus chooses once again to increase the power of their attack from a water attack of 2 to 3 damage in return for paying 1 life.
Oh, technically I'm still losing life and gaining it back.
And here's the moment where I finally clued into the fact that I wasn't really preventing damage, I was taking it and then instantly recovering my health. So once again, Proteus very graciously has allowed me to add the counters to my aura break that should have been there. Good sportsmanship. Appreciate it. It appears that with 6 health left, Proteus has decided to bring in another creature for support and is bringing in a toxic mushroom and placing it in a spot where my champion Gamilla already is. And of course, that's fine in Genesis. You are always allowed to beckon your creatures into a spot adjacent to your champion, even if that spot already happens to be occupied. Of course, at this point in the match, I'm pretty sure that Toxic Mushroom is just coming out to make Proteus feel a little better, because although they get to hit me for 3 damage and put me to 5, I do have those 2 parries directly beside Proteus, and I'm pretty sure they're going to add up to 6 damage and taking my opponent to 0. And that is how it played out. That's how the match ends, with my brand new Gamilla Scary Parry deck getting the win in a very close matchup against the Proteus deck. I definitely think there's some tweaks that we can make to both these decks to make them play even better. I'd love to hear some feedback in the comments from the people watching. Let us know how you would improve these decks, or if you have a crazy brew that you're planning on playing soon. Thanks for watching.